Madison Square Garden. Over 1,100 guests, 6 wedding dresses including decoys, a security budget between $5 and $10 million involving former Secret Service agents and NYPD street closures, and an all-in cost between $60 and $80 million for a single wedding. This is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and the price tag for their July 3rd ceremony reveals more about the economics of modern celebrity than any concert tour or NFL contract ever could. Watch until the end, because what you are about to discover about the financial architecture of this event will redefine how you understand what a wedding becomes when the bride is worth $2 billion and privacy costs more than the celebration itself. The venue: how to turn a 22,000-seat arena into the most expensive wedding hall on earth. The choice of Madison Square Garden is not merely symbolic, though the symbolism is considerable, given that Swift has performed there 8 times and considers the venue a personal landmark. The choice is operational. MSG sits in Midtown Manhattan with no external windows, eliminating the possibility of telephoto photography from surrounding buildings. The arena offers underground access tunnels that allow guests to arrive and depart without ever being visible from a public street. The venue's capacity, approximately 22,000 for concerts and 18,000 for sporting events, provides enough physical space to accommodate 1,100 guests with the kind of expansive, theatrical staging that Swift's production sensibility demands. And the arena's existing infrastructure, lighting rigs, sound systems, backstage facilities, loading docks provides the technical foundation for a production that would overwhelm any conventional wedding venue. MSG will be exclusively reserved from June 29 through July 6, a full week, during which no other events will be held, and the arena will be completely transformed. The base rental cost for MSG events ranges from $50,000 to $500,000 depending on the type and duration. For a week-long exclusive rental that requires the complete removal and rebuilding of the arena floor, dismantling NBA configuration seating, reprogramming the entire lighting system, installing custom flooring, draping, furniture, and floral installations at arena scale. The venue rental and transformation costs are estimated between $10 and $15 million. The floral design alone, installations sized to fill an arena rather than a ballroom, is projected at between $3 and $5 million. Custom lighting, staging, and aesthetic production add millions more. The arena that normally hosts basketball games and rock concerts will, for one evening, become the most expensive wedding venue ever assembled, a transformation so complete that no trace of Madison Square Garden's usual identity will be visible to the 1,100 guests who pass through its underground tunnels into a space designed to look like nothing the arena has ever been before. The timing compounds the complexity. July 3rd falls during the 2026 FIFA World Cup, with matches scheduled in the New York metropolitan area, and coincides with America's 250th Independence Day celebrations. Midtown Manhattan will already be operating under elevated security, restricted traffic patterns, and the logistical strain of managing millions of tourists concentrated in a single borough. Adding a 1,100-person celebrity wedding with NYPD street closures and private security perimeters to that environment is a logistical challenge that requires coordination not just with the venue, but with the city's Transportation Authority, the NYPD's Counter-Terrorism Division, the Secret Service advance teams responsible for any attending VIPs, and the FIFA World Cup security infrastructure operating simultaneously in the same neighborhood. The venue is not just being rented. It is being integrated into a city-wide security and logistics framework that turns a single wedding into an event with the operational footprint of a state function. Is Madison Square Garden the most brilliant or most excessive choice for a wedding venue, a fortress of privacy in the middle of the most photographed city on Earth? Tell us in the comments. The security, former Secret Service agents, underground tunnels, and a budget that could fund a small army. The security operation for this wedding is not an accessory to the event. It is a standalone budget item so large and so complex that it functions as an event within the event, a parallel operation running simultaneously alongside the celebration, staffed by personnel whose qualifications exceed those of most national protection details. The public-facing layer involves NYPD deployment, Officers stationed at street level, barriers erected around the perimeter, command posts established for real-time communication, and traffic restrictions imposed on surrounding blocks during a holiday weekend when Midtown Manhattan is already operating at capacity. The private layer is where the budget escalates dramatically. The protection team includes former Secret Service agents, close protection specialists, and threat assessment teams, professionals whose hourly rates vastly exceed the $18 to $27 per hour that standard event security commands. Multiple security layers operate simultaneously. One team manages the below-ground guest transit system, the tunnel network, that allows arrivals and departures without surface exposure, while a separate team controls the above-ground perimeter, monitoring approaches, scanning for drone activity, and coordinating with NYPD counterterrorism units operating in the area for the FIFA World Cup. Physical invitations have been eliminated entirely. Instead, a digital text-based invitation system reduces the paper trail that could enable leaks. A measure implemented after previous security breaches forced the couple to change venues, dates, and planning details multiple times, adding significant unplanned expenses to the budget. The guest list itself is a security instrument. No +1s are permitted, a restriction that ensures every individual entering the venue has been personally vetted. Approximately 150 of the 1,100 guests are close family and friends. The remainder are industry colleagues and professional associates whose attendance requires the same level of security clearance as the inner circle. The estimated security budget ranges from $5 to $10 million, a figure that may be conservative given the confluence of the FIFA World Cup, the Independence Day celebrations, the NYPD's elevated operational tempo, and the private protection team's premium rate deployment across an entire week of venue preparation and event execution. For context, the average American wedding spends approximately $300 on security. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are spending between $5 and $10 million, a difference that illustrates the gap between a celebration and a controlled environment engineered to prevent any unauthorized person, camera, or drone from capturing a single image that the couple has not approved. The dresses, 6 gowns, ironclad NDAs, and the most expensive wardrobe change in wedding history. Taylor Swift has reportedly commissioned 6 wedding gowns for the event, a number that sounds extravagant until you understand the strategy behind it. Several of the 6 are deliberate decoys, gowns designed, fitted, and completed by different designers for the explicit purpose of creating confusion. If any single designer's studio is compromised by a leak, the information released will not necessarily correspond to the gown Swift actually wears. Every designer involved has signed ironclad non-disclosure agreements that prohibit the release of any images, fitting details, fabric samples, or design descriptions, legal instruments, whose breach penalties are calibrated to the financial scale of the individuals involved and the reputational damage that an unauthorized leak would cause. Couture wedding gowns by top-tier designers, houses like Dior, Oscar de la Renta, Elie Saab, Vera Wang, or the custom ateliers that serve clients at Swift's level range from $50,000 for a relatively straightforward commission to several $1 million for gowns involving hand-sewn embellishments, rare materials, and the hundreds of hours of labor that couture construction demands. With 6 gowns each requiring individual fittings, unique design development, and the labor of dedicated atelier teams, the dress budget alone is estimated to exceed $3 million. The decoy strategy adds cost, but serves a function that no amount of additional security personnel can provide: information control at the source. If the real gown cannot be identified among 6 possibilities, the value of any leaked information drops to approximately 1/6 of its potential impact, a mathematical approach to secrecy that treats wardrobe as a counterintelligence problem rather than a fashion decision. Is commissioning 6 wedding dresses, including decoys, a genius privacy strategy, or the point where wedding planning crosses into paranoia? Your analysis below. The guest list: 1,100 people, 0 +1s, and a social circle declaration disguised as a wedding. The guest list for any wedding reveals the couple's priorities. At 1,100 to 1,200 attendees, the Swift-Kelce guest list reveals something more. It is a deliberate, curated declaration of social allegiance, a public statement about who belongs in their world and who does not. The inner circle of approximately 150 includes family and the closest friends, Selena Gomez and Gigi Hadid as bridesmaids, Emma Stone, Zoe Kravitz, and the Haim sisters among Swift's closest companions. Kelce's side includes Patrick Mahomes attending with his wife Brittany, brother Jason Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid, and actor Miles Teller. Ed Sheeran and Suki Waterhouse have confirmed attendance. Robert Pattinson and Cara Delevingne are expected. The exclusions are as revealing as the inclusions. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, once among Swift's most publicly visible friendships, are reportedly not invited, a consequence of personal and legal disputes that have fractured the relationship. Harry Styles is not invited and cannot attend as a +1 through any mutual connection, given his past romantic relationship with Swift. The no +1s policy applies universally, eliminating the possibility that an uninvited individual gains access through association with an invited guest. Swift's philosophy, as described by sources close to the planning, is to invite only people she wishes to remain connected with permanently, a standard that transforms a wedding invitation from a social courtesy into a loyalty test with lifetime implications. The remaining 950 guests beyond the inner circle represent the professional ecosystem that surrounds a $2 billion entertainment empire and a $90 million NFL career music industry executives, NFL team owners, agents, managers, publicists, and the broader network of industry relationships that sustain both careers. Their presence is not merely social. It is strategic, reinforcing professional alliances, acknowledging business relationships, and demonstrating the combined social gravity of a couple whose individual platforms reach billions of people. The wedding is simultaneously a personal milestone and a networking event conducted at a scale that most industry conferences cannot match, and funded at a level that makes those conferences look underfunded by comparison. The catering, the parties, and the legal architecture of a $2 billion prenup. Feeding 1,100 guests at the standard that Taylor Swift's events require is not catering. It is a hospitality operation, premium open bars, multi-course dinners prepared by teams of chefs, late-night food stations, specialty cocktails, and custom cakes designed as centerpiece installations rather than desserts. At over $1,000 per guest, the benchmark for ultra-premium event catering, the food and beverage budget alone ranges from $1.2 to $3 million. The pre-wedding celebrations add another layer entirely. Bachelor and bachelorette parties with a combined budget ceiling of $10 million, encompassing private island experiences, villa rentals, private jet transportation, golf outings, luxury dinners, and the kind of intimate yet extravagant gatherings that require their own security details and logistics teams. The legal architecture surrounding the wedding is as complex as the event itself. Swift's net worth is estimated at $2 billion, built primarily on her music catalog, touring revenue, endorsement income, and real estate portfolio. Kelce's net worth is approximately $90 million generated through NFL contracts and a growing portfolio of endorsement deals. The wealth disparity makes a prenuptial agreement not merely advisable but legally essential. The prenup must protect Swift's music catalog, one of the most valuable intellectual property portfolios in entertainment history, her touring revenue, her real estate holdings, and the complex web of corporate entities, licensing agreements, and publishing rights that generate her income. The legal fees for drafting, negotiating, and finalizing a prenuptial agreement of this complexity, involving entertainment law, intellectual property specialists, family law attorneys, and tax advisors, potentially reach hundreds of thousands of dollars. The document itself may be more valuable than the wedding because it determines the financial architecture of a partnership whose combined assets exceed $2 billion and whose dissolution, however unlikely, would trigger one of the most consequential celebrity asset divisions in legal history. The total $60 to $80 million and the economics of modern celebrity spectacle. The final accounting begins with the event itself. Venue, rental and transformation at $10 to $15 million, floral and production design at $3 to $5 million, security at $5 to $10 million, 6 wedding dresses at $2 to $4 million, and catering and hospitality at 2 to 3 million, bringing the wedding day total to approximately $45 million. Add pre-wedding celebrations budgeted at 10 million, the engagement ring valued at over $500,000, legal fees for the prenuptial agreement and event contracts reaching hundreds of thousands, and the unplanned expenses generated by multiple venue and date changes forced by security leaks, and the all-in cost falls between $60 and $80 million. For context, the average American wedding in 2025 cost approximately $34,200 with 117 guests. Swift and Kelce are spending nearly 2,000 times that amount to host 10 times as many people in a venue that normally holds rock concerts and NBA finals. The disparity is not merely numerical, it represents two entirely different concepts of what a wedding is. For most Americans, a wedding is a personal celebration constrained by budget. For Taylor Swift, a wedding is a production with a production budget, a production team, a security detail, a legal framework, and an operational timeline that would be familiar to anyone who has managed a stadium tour or a Hollywood premiere. The event occupies the same category as her concerts, a controlled environment where every visual, every sound, and every moment of audience experience is designed, rehearsed, and executed to a standard that leaves nothing to chance. But the number that contextualizes everything is not the wedding budget. It is the economic footprint of the woman paying for it. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour generated an estimated $5 billion in economic impact across the United States, a figure that makes a $60 to $80 million wedding approximately 1.2 to 1.6% of SAF, the value her most recent tour created for the American Eves. Economy. The wedding is historically expensive, but relative to Swift's economic influence, it is a rounding error, a fraction of the revenue her career generates annually. The comparison to royal weddings is inevitable. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's 2018 ceremony generated an estimated $374 million in global PR value. The Swift-Kelce wedding, given the combined social media reach of the couple, Swift alone commands hundreds of millions of followers, will likely exceed that figure significantly, generating media coverage, social media engagement, and brand exposure that transforms a private ceremony into a global economic event. The wedding is not merely a celebration, it is a production designed, budgeted, and secured with the same operational discipline that Swift applies to her stadium tours and Kelce applies to playoff football. Every element, the venue, the dresses, the guest list, the security, the legal architecture, reflects a philosophy that treats a personal milestone as a professional operation, because at the level of wealth and visibility that Swift and Kelce occupy, there is no longer a meaningful distinction between the personal and the professional. The wedding costs between $60 and $80 million. The woman paying for it is worth $2 billion. The event will be covered by every major media outlet on the planet, and the only images the public will ever see are the ones that Taylor Swift decides to release on her terms, on her timeline, through channels she controls. That level of information control at a 1,100-person event in the middle of Manhattan during the FIFA World Cup and America's 250th birthday is not merely expensive, it is an achievement in operational security that most governments would struggle to replicate, funded by a woman whose career proves that controlling the narrative is always worth more than the event itself. Is a $60 to $80 million wedding a justified investment for a woman worth $2 billion? Or has celebrity culture reached a point where even love requires a military-grade budget? Your verdict in the comments. The wedding of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce reveals three strategic truths about the economics of modern celebrity. First, the $5 to $10 million security budget demonstrates that for individuals at the intersection of extreme fame and extreme wealth, privacy is not a feature of a wedding, it is the single most expensive line item, exceeding the cost of the venue, the catering, the dresses, and the pre-wedding parties combined. Second, the $10 to $15 million venue transformation illustrates that at this level of celebrity, no existing space is adequate. Every venue must be completely rebuilt to match the aesthetic, security, and logistical requirements of an event whose production values rival a stadium concert. Third, the prenuptial agreement, protecting a $2 billion fortune, reveals that modern celebrity marriages are not merely personal unions, they are corporate mergers whose legal architecture must protect intellectual property, portfolios, touring revenue streams, and brand equity that took decades to build. From 6 wedding dresses with decoys to a digital invitation system designed to prevent leaks. From underground tunnel access at Madison Square Garden to a guest list that functions as a social circle declaration, from $45 million for the event to $80 million all in. What you have seen today is the complete financial anatomy of the most expensive celebrity wedding in history, funded by a woman whose era's tour generated $5 billion in economic impact and whose control over her own narrative makes the security budget look like the least impressive achievement of the entire operation. If this kind of deep analysis is valuable to you, hit like and subscribe. In the next episode, we will reveal the 5 most expensive celebrity weddings ever held, ceremonies so lavish that they redefined what personal celebration means when wealth has no upper limit.